Do you have a question? Well, by now you know that it's not a real question, but something inside you tells you, I need to ask a question. What shall you ask? Hi, my name is Maarten C. Jong, 20 years of experience in recruitment and being a hiring manager, and I'm going to tell you all about it. As you know by now, it's not a real question. It's not a real conversational starter. They asked it to be polite. But I told you not to ask a question, but you being you want to ask a question. What shall you ask? Well, and how shall you ask it? Okay, here we go. First thing you do, don't read your question from a paper. Don't, when the moment is there, dive into your purse or your bag, trying to find that little piece of paper where you wrote all those questions on. Don't do it. If you want to ask a question, memorize it. So before you go into the interview, you memorize 5 questions. So you thought of 5 questions, and during the interview, you decide which questions are still relevant. Because most of the questions are already answered in the interview itself. So focus only on the questions that are still relevant. The number of questions. Keep it limited to 1 or 2. Again, the hiring manager, HR, everybody that's sitting on the side of the employer wants to go home or to the next interview. They're not waiting for these questions. So keep it short and keep the number limited. This is all about the procedure, about how to ask this question. But what about the content of the question? My experience is that lots of candidates get rejected because of the questions that they ask themselves. They paint a picture of them that's not very positive. They're basically framing themselves in a negative way. How do they do this? Well, for instance, by asking questions that shows their insecurity, their vulnerability. Questions like, am I being trained? How long am I being trained? Well, don't be surprised if you get rejected in the end with the conclusion, yeah, well, you need to be trained. We don't have colleagues available to train you on this matter. While in effect, you are what they call plug and play. You have all the experience. You don't need extra training. So why would you paint this picture of yourself that you need to be trained? And of course, everybody gets training when you do the onboarding. When you start in a company, you always get some training. Why would you ask? Why would you ask in an interview, in the first interview, is there training involved? And how long is this training? And who's going to train me? By asking such a simple question, which is, it's not a bad question, but it's like, if you don't know it, it can paint a certain picture of yourself that's not good for you. So don't ask a question about your onboarding period and how long your training is going to be. A second question that is not really painting a positive picture of you is questions about a methodology, about frameworks, like asking questions about, okay, I'm in this project management company, and what kind of procedures do you have? What kind of project management techniques are you following? What kind of structure do you have? In itself, it's not a bad question, but don't be surprised that in the end you get rejected with the reason, yeah, you might be better off in a structured company with some more guidance, where they have procedures in order because, yeah, our company, it's dynamic. We are part of a scale up, or we're part of private equity. There's much going on. And yeah, we don't have project management techniques, which in effect is not true because every company has some kind of technique. But again, if you ask about it, like what are your procedures? What is there a manual? Is there like a project management technique? They're all good questions, but not in the first interview because it You sound like you need comfort, you need confidence, you need like guide rails, which you don't need because you're a senior professional. So be aware of the questions that you ask. That these questions can paint a bad, uh, a not positive image of you. So we just discussed what not to ask. What should you say? What should you ask? Well, first of all, you start by saying, "No, I don't have any questions for this moment. Thank you." Thank the interview partners. Thank you for the time that you took. And thank you for the detailed, very clear description about the job and about the company. If I have one question to ask, it would be about the follow up process. Can you tell me anything about the process after this interview? It's positive. You don't want to reflect about the previous part of the interview. It's short, it's forward looking, and it actually helps you because almost every candidate forgets to ask this question like, what's the rest of the procedure? When are you going to call me? What are the next steps, etc.? And it's clean, it's short, and it's also informative. That's what you should do. After this interview, you will either get a rejection or you will get an invite for the next round. How to deal with rejection and how to turn a rejection around into something positive for you. I'm going to discuss this in my next video. So keep watching and I'll see you in the next video.